Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to TìandTarot, or welcome back to TìandTarot if you've been here before. So, something I want to preface about this reading real quick is that regardless of the fact that this reading is about compatibility, you don't have to have a romantic person in mind. You don't even have to have a person in mind. You could ask, are you compatible with a romantic person or a person if you'd like to, but you can also ask, are you compatible with this opportunity or with a project you want to get involved in or a role or anything like that. You can ask any questions. So I just want to make it clear, this reading is for everybody, it's for all. So I'm not going to necessarily make it too relationshipy focused. I will also look at other details that can kind of apply to you all. So that being said, this reading is about whether or not you're even compatible with the thing that you have in mind. Today's pick a pile reading has 3 piles and we have towers for you on top of your pile. You can pick your pile based on the energy of the pile, based on the crystal or object on top, the number of the pile, or the numbers in the timestamps below. You can also choose with your zodiac signs. I do usually add these to the timestamps, but today I've actually got zodiac crystals, so I'm going to pull them at random out of a bag and place them on the pile. You do not have to pick the pile that is your zodiac sign, but you are welcome to if you'd like to, or if there's just a zodiac sign that you really resonate with, feel free to pick that as well, and I will do that right now. We have Capricorn, we have Pisces, we have Cancer, and we have Virgo. For pile 2, we have Sagittarius, Aries, very fiery that pile. We have Leo, so yeah, full fire here. Oh, and then we have Scorpio, which is interesting, because for me, personally, I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but even though Scorpio is a water sign, it's always given fire energy to me because of how kind of ruthless they can be a little bit, and the fact that they are the antisocialness is probably the watery element, but just the fact that they love their loves, but then they don't, love everybody. It's just giving fire to me, so it's interesting that that came out in that one. Aquarius, Libra, Taurus, and Gemini. And if you like to choose your pile with crystals, I will get into those with you now. So for pile 1, we have this Selenite tower. For pile 2, we have a Smoky quartz tower. And for pile 3, we have a Howlite tower. Once you have selected your pile, there will be a timestamp in the description box below for you to find your reading more easily, and I will meet you there. Bye! Okay, hello pile 1. So you chose this Selenite tower, which I'm going to place here. And you have the Lovers. So straight away with this card, and it being in reverse, in reference to whether or not you're compatible with this person, this is about your kind of core qualities and, fundamental characteristics and traits within this situation. So you might have a bit of a love-hate situation with this just because it's in reverse as well. That could also just mean, for some of you, heightened love if it's in reverse. So it could be that you really want this thing to work and you really, really love it. And so you put in a lot of effort. But for some of you, it can also indicate, for some of you, you could be a bit torn. So your characteristics can conflict each other. So sometimes you can be very, yes, go, 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 all for this. And then sometimes you can doubt it and kind of be a bit more withdrawn and pulled away from this. So for some of you, it can be 50-50 with the effort that you're willing to put into this. And with whether or not you want this thing for sure or not. But for others of you, you are 100% sure that you want this thing. And you put in effort constantly to getting it. For some of you, in order for this to be compatible, you might need to actually increase your effort. If you're one of those people who feel more 50-50 about it. If you're not sure though, obviously take time and think about it. Don't just put in the effort. But if it's something that you're no, I'm sure of this, but I've just not been putting in the effort, then this card is saying definitely increase that effort and that energy. Okay, now we're going to look at, we have the Queen of Winter in reverse. This person or this opportunities, qualities, and what about it makes it, interesting, or them interesting. So with the Queen of Winter in reverse, this person or opportunity, first I'm going to start with a person interpretation, then I'll look at everything else. But as a person, they can be quite materialistic, driven by like natural needs and wants and desires, which is not a bad thing at all, by the way. I also think this person has a tendency to be quite cold, maybe not towards you or maybe towards you. If this is about a person, they have a way of like kind of shutting you out a little bit. So if you're someone who is putting in all the effort and then getting this cold energy back, this isn't creating a good dynamic from the beginning. Like it's great to be like, one of you's an introvert and one of you's an extrovert, because then someone's helping that, you know, extrovert to relax and have days in, and that extrovert is helping that other person to get out and be social. So that balance is quite nice, but I don't know if that's what this is here. This feels ever so slightly more toxic, I would say. Very different energies, although I will say fundamentally you both are quite down to earth and grounded and natural. If this is like not a person and it's more about like an opportunity and things like that, I would say it's really hard for you to get into whatever this is. It's really hard to get your foot in the door. You just feel like no matter what experience or effort or energy you put in, you always somehow feel really shut out. And it feels like a really lofty goal. Like there would be a lot of financial reward for whatever this thing is. So for you, I think an element of the compatibility is to ensure that you're not like stressing too much. I know that's so much easier to say than to actually do. But with like big opportunities that you kind of, in your head, you create this idea that this is so much bigger and better than you. And so it makes you really nervous when you go after it, or really sad if you don't get it. So every time you kind of put yourself out there and you get a knock back and you try again, it hits you really hard, because it's like you put so much into this thing. You see it as such a thing where like it could completely transform your life and make you feel 1,000 times better. So every time you don't get it, you feel really like upset about that. So in terms of compatibility, it's like if something makes you feel terrible when you don't get it, then, you know, potentially the compatibility is not there. But it could also be that you could, by just changing the way that you approach it and seeing it as not a big deal, see it as something you will eventually get, but there will just be a lot of times where you won't get it initially, and that way it's not so heavy on your heart and your soul. Then the compatibility makes it a bit better, because there's no longer that like overpowering power dynamic. And same with a person. If you put somebody on a pedestal and kind of big them up in your head, then you might be willing to take and accept behaviors from them that you shouldn't. That kind of diminish your worth, and they kind of might take advantage of you in that situation. So definitely recognize your own worth and what you're bringing to this situation, to recognize that actually there's not much of a big difference here, if that makes sense. Like you are equal to this person or opportunity, so it shouldn't be so detrimental if things don't go right or don't work out in this situation, so long as you recognize that worth, that self-worth. And especially if you feel shut out from this person or this opportunity, it can be really hard when you're investing a lot of time into it and energy into it. So it's about reflecting on that as well. Okay. Yeah, the emotional bond between the two of you is that you might need this socially. Whatever this is, like you might feel, it's not that you actually need it socially, it's that you might have these feelings like if you do not get this thing, that is a direct reflection on your worth and who you are as a person. If you don't get this job or this opportunity or this person, then who even are you? Like you might really believe that. It's not true, but it feels like a direct reflection of your self-worth, because you put so much energy into this, because you've put so much belief into it. And by the way, this isn't to say that this isn't like a good situation. It can be. It's more what I'm getting here is like your sense of self-worth around this situation is controlling the compatibility of the situation. Because if you came at this situation differently, if you came at it with like you are the prize in this situation, or almost like you have things to add and offer, it wouldn't make you so nervous. It wouldn't make you so worried about the outcome. And actually you'd see that whether you get it or not does not reflect anything about you. But because you're putting so much power into this thing, this person, this opportunity, it's really racking with your sense of self-worth, which is creating the toxicity that I'm kind of picking up here as well. I think you feel emotionally tied to this thing because you feel like you're running out of time. So it could be like you feel like you're running out of time to make new connections. It could be that you feel like you're running out of time to get this thing and then rise within the ranks once you get this thing. It feels like time is of the essence, time's against you almost, and it's stressing you out, which is really fair. If like, it's not, I'm not saying that's like what's happening here. I'm saying it's fair to have those feelings and feel those worries, but at the same time, it's like, and you as well, we've got the love and the lock here. Like, you feel locked out of achieving and accomplishing this thing. You feel like with the evil eye here that things are working against you and you need protection in a sense. And what you're not seeing is that this person is wearing the evil eye ring, so they're already protected. I think you feel so worried because you feel like you don't have this thing in the bag when you actually do. And if you saw your self-worth and saw that you were protected on your journey, then potentially you would respond differently to this whole thing. Okay, we have the Two of Spring here, which is the Two of Wands in reverse. With you and this thing, or this person, the strength that you would have if you actually paired together is that you would complement each other really well, especially in terms of creativity. It could be like, if you got this opportunity, it would unlock so many doors for you in terms of networking, in terms of your creativity. And for you, you would add a lot to this situation. You would bring a lot of ideas, a lot of energy because you love it so much. You're so invested. You would put your all into it. So actually there would be a really lovely pairing here if the way that you see them versus yourself changes. And I think if this is a person, again, I do think the compatibility could actually be really, really, really good if you ended up in a situation together, provided that you've done the inner work to not feel inferior to this person. Because I think they would help you achieve your goals and you would help them with theirs. And you would support each other very well, especially emotionally and in terms of like achieving your goals, going after the things you want. But I feel like the more you put this person on a pedestal, or this thing on a pedestal, the less compatible you become. But the more you put yourself in the center of your appreciation, the better this connection could be. Okay, so what are the challenges and the growth that needs to be done? Okay, so we have the Seven of Summer, which is the Seven of Cups. So with the Seven of Cups, this is very like dreamy, futuresque, or futuresque. Also, it's really about creativity as well. It's about sort of like the fantasies and the hopes that you have for the future. So when this has come up in challenges and growth, something to kind of work around is to genuinely take a look at what your goals are for the future. Evaluate whether this really aligns with it. And if it does, work out a really good plan, especially if this is an opportunity and project. Work out a really good plan to get this thing and go after it and figure out, okay, it's not working, I can't get my foot in the door, how can I get my foot in the door? And trying to figure it out that way, or maybe going a completely different route to get there from the way that you're trying to get there now. But if this is a person, I think one of the challenges to make this kind of compatible to kind of getting there is to not put so much weight on this person in fulfilling your fantasies. Because when you put someone on a pedestal, they have to be your everything, because if they're not, then you feel like your self-worth or your life isn't going the way it's going, and then you feel a lot of resentment, hatred, anger towards this person because they've not done the exact thing that you subconsciously wanted them to do, wanted them to be. So of course it's like fantastic to find someone that you really admire and you want the world with, but make sure you're not projecting any ideas of what you want them to be onto them before actually getting to know them. And also reflect on whether or not their future goals align with yours, because it could be like you disagree on big fundamental things like politics, or in terms of where you want your life to go. Do you want children and marriage and things like that? Do they? Because they might not, and you might not, and they might, and vice versa. So it's like you've got to make sure that this person actually fits you and fits into your life, and that you're not changing to fit in with them. I think as well, you're a bit of a worrier. As I said, with this whole self-reflection thing, you worry a lot. You panic about whether this is going to work out, time constraints, what if you're locked out forever, what if you never get this thing. The challenge for you, the area to grow, is to realize that, is to sort of fantasize about these things without constraints, without thinking about, oh, but what if this goes wrong, without being so anxious about it. Instead, just like embrace it and enjoy it, and just let your imagination run wild. You know, what's the harm that could do? Like, if you're fantasizing about achieving this thing and winning this thing, one, that's great for manifestation, but two, in a sense, you're getting to live out that fantasy in that life. Even if you never actually get it in real life, you at least get it in your fantasies. The only person you harm by not investing in your like fantasies and sort of like dreaming about the future you want is yourself, because then you're creating this illusion to yourself that these things aren't achievable, when that's not true. So another challenge for you is to also let go of some of those worries and that stress and that anxiety, and just fully invest yourself and love fully. Like, really lose yourself in the flowers. And manifestation doesn't just have to be about fantasizing. It can also be like spell work that you do, little actions you take each day to achieve your goals and go after them. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting here. So that was your reading pile 1. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe to support the channel. If you were drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye! Okay, hello pile 2, welcome to your reading. So you chose the Smoky Quartz Tower, one of my favourites. So I'm just going to place that there. Let's take a look at your first card. So you have the Queen of Spring in reverse, which is the Queen of Wands. So this is kind of about your qualities and what you bring to the table in this kind of situation. So something I get from the Queen of Springs is definitely like a very confident energy. I think you are really confident in this situation, which is a really great thing to sort of have and be. I think you are confident in yourself, in your capability to achieve this thing and accomplish this thing, but you're also just confident within yourself anyway, which is a very alluring, attractive quality. So if you're like going for a job interview, your interviewer will respond really well to this. If it's like a person that you're like attracted to, that you're trying to see, they'll be really attracted and drawn to this as well, because it shows like a security and strength within yourself, which who doesn't like that, you know? So that's a really fantastic quality that you kind of bring to the table. You definitely have like leadership energy, especially with all of these fire signs here. Like, you definitely are a take charge kind of person, which can be very good in this situation. And to top it off, you bring positive energy, because especially with the Scorpios, something I think about is how positive they can be in connections, or when there is something they love and that they really enjoy doing. So that, whereas, and because it's juxtaposed with like how potentially negative they can be with things they don't really care about, it's giving that you bring a really positive energy to the situation because it's something you love and you want. There's definitely room for growth, but I do feel like you're a very creative, ideas-driven kind of person. So you take action, you're definitely very wild and free, and also quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Not like childish, but like where you almost have like an innocent and high energy approach to things, which is also quite nice as well in this situation. Okay, so let's, so you got the 5 of Spring in upright, which is again the 5 of Wands, and this is about the traits that they kind of bring to the table, either this opportunity or this person. Ooh, okay, I feel like if this is a person, they put up a bit of a fight. I feel like this might be why you're asking this question of whether are you even compatible, because it seems like no matter the amount of effort you put in, you just don't get anything back. You're just getting a lot of opposition and criticism and a lot of resistance to you. This can lead you to feeling frustrated, and also it drains your confidence. You're a very confident person, but when you get so much pushback like this, it can really affect your confidence and your sense of self. So if this is an opportunity, it feels very hard to get into, and it almost feels like every time you get a rejection from this opportunity, you're kind of questioning, is this even for me then? Do I even have what it takes to get in? And will they ever even let me in, kind of thing? And the thing is, you've got such amazing qualities. I do think if you redirected your energy to something different, you could succeed in that, because the problem clearly isn't you. So that's kind of what I'm getting as well. And with people as well, if you're just not getting anything back and they're rude to you, they're criticizing you, they're knocking your self-worth and your confidence, reinvest your energy into somebody else, because then it's kind of showing that it's not very compatible. Like when I saw the 5, I was like, oh no, because it can just be so negative. And so if this thing is draining you and kind of flourishing off of draining your energy, then this isn't the thing for you. Definitely with this card, this person, if it's a person, they really like to be independent, which could also be why they are so almost against the efforts you're putting in. They like to be alone, they like to be isolated, they don't like a lot of attention or effort from others, and so they might, rather than just say, hey, I like being on my own, they'll be mean to push you away because they just want space. But if this is like an opportunity, I think it's very like elitist and kind of it's who you know, not what you know, and it's about like networking. And if you don't fit their, like, in their mind, their like culture, their office culture, like the vibes, then it's just always going to be a no. Like it feels very closed off and like gate kept almost, is kind of where I'm getting that independent vibe from. So if you do want to persist with this thing, because we're not fully done with whether or not this is fully compatible for you yet, there could be a way to turn it around. If you do insist on going after this thing, you have to treat yourself fairly and recognize that that criticism isn't directly about you, because as we've already established, you've got these great qualities to bring. It is 100% more about the person or the opportunity that you want and what their kind of intentions are, rather than what you are bringing to the table. I don't think there's anything more you could do in this situation. And you have to respect yourself first and foremost. So, you know, if you're getting a lot of pushback and kind of taking it and putting up with it, you're almost losing an element of your self-respect. So that's something to consider when you're going after this thing as well. We have the Ace of Winter in reverse for the emotional bond between you and this thing. So there's not a lot of like history here. If this is like an opportunity, it might be something you haven't really considered before. It might be something completely brand new where it's been presented to you and you're like, oh, actually that could be a good idea, and then you've tried it and it's not really working. It could also be like a brand new person that there's no history there with you and this person. This could be like a new crush or a new like romantic pursuit, something like that. But you feel like there's a like an idea brewing with this thing or this person. Like you're like, if given the chance, I think this could be the start of something really great and really fruitful. Like you could get a lot out of this situation, the both of you, or you and this opportunity, because you would put a lot into this opportunity and reap a lot back. And same with the relationship or connection. But it just doesn't seem to be working because there's this like cold element with the winter, with the coin cards. There's like a cold, frosty, you're shut out of this kind of energy. But you know, if given the opportunity, like with the Scorpio here, there would be so much to accomplish within this thing, which is why I think you're still questioning, do I continue to go after it or not? Because you know, once you get past these barriers, it could be great. But it's just the barriers are really tough. So that's the emotional side to this, is definitely that you feel like there is something here. You've just got that intuitive feeling and you don't want to let go of it. Okay. I felt like it was this one actually. Okay, we got the King of Winter. So with the strengths of this connection, if it were to happen, if it is happening right now, the strengths on this side is that you could make a lot of financial gain from this opportunity. You could definitely, you know, rise up through ranks, reach to like the top of your kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Your potential. If this is a person, you could literally create your whole little empire together. Like you could be like the power couple, you could be like the it friends or the it couple, or you know, whatever it is. And again, you could create a lot together. You could create a really good life together. I feel like if you were to get this opportunity or be with this person or if it's just about a random person in general, there could be a lot of satisfaction here, and a lot could be done and achieved, but you would still have your respective like lives separate from this and spaces. But when you're with this person or doing this opportunity, so much can get accomplished. So much. It could be so fruitful, and it could really help build your confidence actually once you get past this barrier, because it's like, wow, I achieved that thing even though it was so hard, and now it's fantastic on the other sid. And I think you'll still have a lot of time for yourself and your hobbies. There will be a nice level of balance, a nice level of like consistency with the effort put in on both sides. And I think you'll be like, wow, I'm an amazing achiever, because how the hell did I get this past all of this? So it really kind of bigs you up when you do get there. It almost feels like a dream come true. Physically and mentally, I think there will be a lot of alignment with you and this person, or you and this opportunity. Okay, so what challenges and growth could be done to kind of help here in this situation? The Sun card. Okay, so I think when we're kind of getting the Sun card, the challenge to overcome and the way that this could grow, I'm getting it more from them than you. If this is a person, I feel like they just need to be more positive. Honestly, that's all I'm getting. I'm not getting anything you could work on. I just feel like when they start showing positive signs where they're suddenly drawn to you, and they feel like they want to be around you more, and they're actually enjoying your company, and they're showing you this and telling you this, that's a clear change to where it's like, okay, this door is opening and we could be compatible. If they're showing you the same kind of energy that you're showing them, and if they're showing you what they can bring to the table as well, if this is an opportunity, I feel like you could need to show your best side of yourself, like all of your good traits. When you're writing that CV or that, you know, whatever it is that you're doing to kind of get this opportunity, you're putting down every single thing that you have achieved and accomplished. Don't be humble. Like, just really put yourself out there and be really dynamic and like somebody that like they would want to bring into this opportunity, into this thing. Show off your good traits, your worth, because you've got a lot to bring to the table. But I think if it's a person, it's more about whether or not they show interest in you. If they don't, then you know it's not compatible. But if they have a change of tune and start putting effort in and energy in, then potentially this could be very compatible. Okay, so that was your reading pile 2. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. And if you were drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye! Okay, hello pile 3, welcome to your reading. So you chose this Howlite Tower, which I'm going to put here. And this is your first card. So you have the 4 of Autumn, which is the 4 of Swords. So this is about the like core traits and qualities that you bring to this environment, to this situation, to this opportunity or this person. So I think you have a really healing energy. I think you're lovely to be around. Like, people feel like they can just open up to you and talk to you, offload onto you almost. And it's because you feel like a safe space. I think you're a very introverted person, and so what happens a lot of times with introverted people is because they tend to be more shy, more gently spoken. They often don't say a lot of the things they're thinking. People think they're kind of like a neutral slate, even though actually beyond the surface what's usually happening is a lot of like very intelligent people are introverted. So they have so many thoughts going on in their mind that they're not saying, but they want to say. So actually, typically you tend to be the most opinionated and the most, like, you've got the most to say, you're the most intelligent in this situation usually. But people think that because you don't speak necessarily, you're kind of this blank slate that they can just like say things to, and not, it almost like an echo chamber. They don't think they're going to get any judgment or, you know, evaluation back. Meanwhile, you are actually like psycho-evaluating them. And you're like, wow, yeah, that displays a level of this and this, and I think that this, like, you're summing them up and a situation up. So I think what you bring is like a nice, seemingly non-judgmental energy to people and opportunities. So say it's like a job opportunity, they think, yep, you're going to be a great fit for the company because you're not like loud or pushy or shouty or, you know, too much kind of thing. They think, yeah, great fit kind of thing. So that's how your qualities kind of come across. They come across as subtle but valuable. And I think the same thing with people, they feel very like open and trusting around you. Okay, so let's see what traits this opportunity or person brings to the table. So you have the Six of Summer, which is the Six of Cups. This opportunity, if it's an opportunity, it really, when you look at it and when you see it and you think about it and you think about achieving it, it makes you feel so much hope and like positivity and optimism. It feels like this could be an opportunity that transforms your life in some kind of way and changes things fundamentally about you, changes doors that are opening up for you, it changes opportunities, it opens pathways, it gives you more freedom, and it inspires you. It makes you feel like, yeah, I could enjoy my day if I got this opportunity day by day. I would love my life if I had this opportunity, kind of thing. And same with a person. If this is a person, they are so lovely to be around and they just have such great energy that they really make you feel hopeful about your connection with this person, and like you almost have a brand new start to this type of situation. Whether it's a friendship, a relationship, or something else, it makes you feel like you could have a brand new start in something that maybe didn't work out for you in the past. And I think as well, even though I'm getting more introvert energy from you, because you recognize the worth of this situation, you are actually putting energy in, and that energy is fruitful. Like, it is being reciprocated, it is being accepted. So the work you're putting in is paying off, which is very much giving compatibility so far. So it's giving that the more you nurture this thing, the more likely it is to work out for you as well. This, if it's like a person, they very much care about your personal needs and what you're getting from the situation as well. They're very committed, they're very goal orientated. But if this is an opportunity, again, whoever is organizing this opportunity will provide you with options for like great balance in your personal life, and with this opportunity it will think about like your kind of progress and how they can help facilitate your goals within this opportunity. Like, you won't be neglected to say, basically, by this situation or person. Okay, and then we have the 10 of Autumn, which is the 10 of Swords. I think emotionally about this situation, if it does not work out for you, I think you will feel like that was it. Like, you've put in your last amount of effort and you're not doing anymore. So it's like, for example, let's say you've not had great friendships, relationships, things like that, and you're putting effort in, it's going well, and you're like, good, this is going well. If this doesn't work out though, I'm out. Like, I'm done. That's it. I will just be my introverted self. And same with like an opportunity. You're like, this is kind of the last time I'm putting so much energy into something if I don't reap any benefits, because you're not about to work harder for less. You know what I mean? You're gonna start, if this doesn't work out for you, in your mind, the way that you're feeling and thinking about this is like, you're not going to be someone who works yourself to the bone for nothing. So if this opportunity that looks really amazing doesn't end up being amazing, you're kind of done with that, and you're going to completely change the way that you go about things. Same with relationships. If you put a lot of effort in and it's not working out, you're going to feel more like, the way you're seeing this situation is like, you'll feel happy and content living independently, doing your own thing, not pursuing these types of relationships again if this one doesn't work out. This is kind of like your last shot, your last hope, and you're like, oh, listen, I'll put it in and I'll see where it goes. But you're also not going to be like devastated if it doesn't work out. You're just going to be like, fine, like, that is the way it is, and this wasn't for me, and I'm done with that. Like, I don't think you're gonna take it too hard. I think you're actually going to be quite content with the results no matter where this goes, which I think is why we're getting compatible energy, because when you're not putting so much pressure on things, it tends to work out better. So I do think, because you're very mellow about it, I'm getting the vibe it is compatible. Okay. So essentially, emotionally, you're invested, but you're withdrawn at the same time. Like, you're interested, but you're not like too interested. You're just seeing where it goes, really. So there's not too much weight on this thing. Okay. You got 2 cards for this one. So you got the Three of Spring in reverse, which is the Three of Wands, and you have the Crow in reverse. So one of the strengths between you and this opportunity, or you and this person, is definitely your openness, your communication, and the trust in the situation. So you're very upfront with what you're expecting, what you're willing to put in, what you want from them. Same thing with the opportunity. You're very upfront about what you can bring to the table, and they're very upfront about their limitations and what they can do and bring in return. So there's this really great like kind of back and forth. Something that is great is that as well about this thing is that there will always be that air of like mystery and that air of like intrigue and interest. You won't get bored in whatever this is or in this relationship. There will always be something new and exciting about it, and it gives you more purpose. I think for the both of you, it gives, and for you in this opportunity, there's more purpose to it. There's more direction to your life and to your enjoyment of this thing. Because you enjoy it so much, it's giving your life more direction and more purpose. I think the strength here is that you will feel so certain about this thing once it starts, once you have it. Like, you will feel like, yeah, I made the right decision 100%. Or even if you don't get it, and as I said, you're kind of like, right, that was it, I'm done. You will feel really confident and assured in that decision. You're like, yep, that's fine. Like, you are happy with the change of heart, whether that goes in one direction or the other. Okay, so my camera cut out halfway through, so I'm just gonna start. I've already pulled all your cards. There's also an air of mystery here, so it's like, I think with this opportunity or person, whoever it is, you will never be bored. There will always be something new and exciting about it that keeps you engaged, that keeps you wanting more. So this isn't something where it's just gonna fizzle out in the future. There is definitely like a longevity here as well, which is another strength here. I think if this works out as well, which it is indicating it will because the compatibility is like off the charts, but if it works out, I think as well it's going to give you a complete change of heart. So it could be that like you thought these things could never work out for you, and so getting these things makes you realise it was destined to work out for you. Or it could be that this didn't work out for you and you are okay with that, and it gives you a change of heart looking at the future as something that can be non-traumatizing. Because I think even if this ends, even if this doesn't work out for you, it's not gonna not work out in like a traumatic, toxic kind of way. It's gonna work out really mutually. So even if you decide, you know what, this opportunity isn't for me, or if they decide, you know what, this person isn't for me, it will be mutual. There will be respect, there will be open communication, there won't be any like arguing or, you know, burned bridges. And so I think it gives you a new outlook on how things should go, should they not work out. So I think either way, one of the strengths of this connection is that because there is such good communication and respect on both ends, whether you have a change of heart, whether in that direction or this one, doesn't matter. It matters that you will be happy with either because you're very content in this situation and without it as well. And then you also had the Nine of Spring upright for potential challenges and areas to grow in. So one of the areas to sort of grow in and to kind of keep this compatibility going is to really appreciate what each other brings to the table, even if that's something small. So, for example, say this is a job opportunity and it's like work from home. Just the fact that it gives you, or it's hybrid, gives you that little bit of freedom where instead of chasing the bus in the morning, you're able to roll out of bed, make a cup of coffee, you know, and have that time to yourself. It's a simple, small win. It's a small pleasure that actually brings so much joy to your life. So try not to take that for granted. Same with the person. Like, they might not always be able to, like, treat you to things. So it's about appreciating the fact that you get to spend time with this person. How else do they show appreciation for you? Do they constantly respond to your texts, your calls? Are they, like, always, like, ready to hang out, happy to be around you, like, really nice, positive to be around for you? You know, it's about appreciating those small, simple things. Also, a potential challenge to watch out for is getting overwhelmed by this thing. So it could be that there might be high emotions in the relationship, or maybe it's just overwhelming in terms of how much time you're spending together. But if it's like an opportunity, it could be that the workload is increasing a lot and it's almost pushing on your boundaries. So it's really important. A challenge here is to maintain your boundaries and your self-preservation and self-respect, while also maintaining harmony and balance in this thing that you want, in this connection. So that's a potential challenge there. And as well, focus on the the bigger issues of this situation. So for example, like say this is an opportunity. Don't get like bogged down in kind of the monotonous like day-to-day small activities to the point that it distracts you from achieving your bigger goals within this opportunity. And also don't get like pulled into petty squabbles and arguments with this opportunity, because that could squander your like big opportunity later. It could make you fumble the bag. So try to stay focused on the bigger picture. Same with the relationship. If it's a connection with someone, don't get caught up in like petty arguments or like small little like disagreements. Make sure the things, if there's something you're bringing up, it's something that really matters to you, and make sure you've had time to like think about it as well. And don't get like focus on the bigger picture and tackling challenges together rather than like accusing the other person of things as well. So that's a potential challenge there as well. So that was your reading pile 3. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe, as it really helps the channel out. If you were drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on Tea and Tarot.